Hello and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to show you 5 techniques I use to survive the INFJ funk. My name is Natalie Encarnacion and I'm a life coach. I teach INFJ women how to be happy using very simple, everyday strategies and techniques. If you haven't done so already, please click subscribe and tap the little bell so you receive notifications every time I drop a new video. Okay, so there's a ton of videos out there talking about the INFJ depression. I absolutely hate the word depression because it sounds so permanent and it's just such a heavy word. So I like to use the word funk because I like to see it as temporary. So when I say the INFJ funk, or I tell my husband or my kids, I'm just in a funk right now, that's very temporary. It makes me feel like I'm going to get over it in a few days, and I usually do. So usually INFJs are triggered by something, and this trigger is sometimes work, kids, other family members. Everybody kind of has their own little trigger. And this trigger starts making you question your entire existence. So I'm actually just getting out of an INFJ funk. My funk actually ended yesterday and I'm actually feeling myself today. And I didn't even want to drop a video, but I'm committed to this channel and I'm committed to doing a video every week. So I was happy to feel better this morning and thus dropping this video. So my last funk that I just got over lasted about 4 days. And I was triggered by just a stressful situation at work. So when I get into these stressful situations, it makes me start thinking that, it's like, oh, I'm never going to achieve any of my goals. I'm never going to have a fulfilling life. And, this one trigger makes you question your entire existence. It makes you question whether or not I'll ever achieve anything that I've ever wanted to achieve. And of course, that kind of negative thinking leads to a deep sadness. And you just go lower and lower and lower, and you just kind of shut down. So the techniques I'm going to share with you today are going to help you get out of that sadness or funk and elevate you and lift you and get you out of it quicker. These funks used to take me, it could be weeks, months. It used to be that I was in these funks. But ever since I've had a family and had kids, I just can't be disconnected that long. So I've made a mission out of decreasing the times I'm in these funks because they're going to happen. Nothing you can do is going to change that. These funks are going to happen. Okay, so these are the things I do every time I'm in a funk so that I can reduce the time that I'm in this sad, dark place. My favorite one I'm going to save to the end, my favorite tip. So the first tip is exercise. I admit I am not one to go to the gym or to go running or anything like that. So I incorporate extra exercise into my daily routine. So I have a dog and he gets a walk at least 3 times a day. So what I do is I extend his walk, but I double the time. So if it's a 5-minute walk, make it a 10-minute walk. If you have a dog and you do a 10-minute walk, make it a 20-minute walk. Just find a way to include exercise in what you typically do. And just having that extra time and that extra activity really will elevate your mood. I also take my kids outside a little bit more, or I don't take them on a walk, but I go on walks with them. Just anything I can do to increase my exercise and incorporate that into my daily life, because to be honest with y'all, I'm not going to the gym and I'm not going to go running. Okay, so tip number 2 is to read something inspiring. During this last funk that I just got out of, I read The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes, and I have to say, it is the best book I've read all year, probably the last couple years. I've heard so many positive things about it, and I never took the time to read it, and I'm a library goer, so I was on the wait list forever, and it just happened to come through during my funk, and it was a lifesaver. That was a great book. So if you're an INFJ and you're in a funk, I highly suggest that you read The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. It really is life-changing. I felt like she was inside my head with some of the stuff that she was saying. And then all the positive things that she said along the way. It's just very inspiring. It was an easy read and it really, really impacted me. So The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes, or something else that you find very inspiring, this is the time to read it. Okay, so tip number 3, of course, essential oils. So if you listened to or watched any of my previous videos, I talk about essential oils. So I do use essential oils every day, but the one that I use extra when I'm going through my funk is an Uplifting Essential Oil. And I get it from the same place as my other ones, Norabelle Wellness, but I'm sure there's a ton of them that are uplifting. So here is the bottle. It's called Uplift. And it's right here. And of course, this is 100% essential oil, so I dilute it in a fractionated coconut oil. And this one I'll put on all my pulse points, and I will use it several times a day to help lift me out of my funk. This blend has rose, cedarwood, marjoram, lavender, bergamot, pine, and another word that starts with H that I can't pronounce, but I will leave a link to it. But this one, it really does help me. So in addition to my grounding essential oil, I will use this Uplift. And I'm sure you can find something similar to it at doTERRA. I know it's very popular. But anything that's uplifting really helps bring me out of my funk. Okay, so the 4th technique I use to help me get out of the funk is I listen to music. Even if I'm at home with my kids, I'll put an earbud in and I'll play music that uplifts me, makes me feel a certain way. So right now there's like on my playlist I have that I use for, you know, these times. It has a Drake song on there and a Whitney Houston, Rihanna mashup that I found on YouTube that I absolutely love to listen to. So I just put one of my earbuds in and I turn on that playlist and it just kind of runs in the background, and I don't know, it just does something to me. So music. Okay, so tip number 5 is my favorite, and this is the one that I do the most every single day as much as possible when I'm in my funk. I do it anyway, but I increase how often I do it when I'm down and I'm in my funk, and that is be creative. If you're an INFJ, you're probably creative in some capacity, and now is the time to engage in that creative activity. So I love to craft. I sew, painting, drawing, anything that I can get my hands on. So during this funk, I started crocheting buffalo plaid. This has been on my list and I love it. So this is going to be a new cowl scarf that I'm making, but I'm crocheting a buffalo plaid check pattern that I absolutely love. Also during this funk, I did more drawing. I love doing anything creative. So this is something, but what I just did during this funk, was some drawing and some watercolor. I made a list this year of some of the artistic things I wanted to do, and I wanted to up my doodling, drawing, and watercolor. So I made these little fellas. I call them my babies, and I watercolored them and drew them, and I love it. I've been working on a little fox that I've been drawing, and I haven't colored him in yet. I haven't perfected him because I'm a perfectionist. So I'm working on that. And just random drawings that I'm trying to do that I've started. I usually keep more than one going, so that I've absolutely loved. And this is my art journal, so I'll do a video about that eventually. If there's any interest, just comment below. But this is just a little journal I keep because I do like all things creative, and I just have a ton of art that I have done that has helped me through my funks. So that's great. And also sewing. So all my friends like to laugh at me because I tell them when I'm in a funk, the one, not this last funk I was in, but the one before that, I told them I was angry sewing. I mean, I took it out on that sewing machine, something fierce. So I actually made myself some shirts. I don't know how much of this is in the frame, but this is the last shirt that I angry sewed. I still have some final touches I need to put on it that I'll do tonight. But this was one of my angry sew shirts that helped me through my last funk that was in. So yeah, it's great. So I would say if you're an INFJ, you're creative in some capacity, find a creative outlet and do it as much as you can. My crocheting, I have it in a bag and I take it with me. I crochet in the car if my husband's driving. I need to do something to ground me, bring me out of my funk, and these techniques bring me out on a really quickly. So instead of these funks lasting from weeks to months, literally this last funk lasted me, Actually, it lasted me about 3.5 days, and that's a record for me. So I spend a lot of time retreating to my virtual reality that I've talked about before, and these techniques brought me out in record time. Okay, so to recap, the 5 techniques I use to help me get out of my INFJ funk in record time are: 1, activity, exercise. Increase your activity level any way you can. Number 2, read something uplifting. Mine was The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. Number 3, essential oils. I use uplifting essential oils to help bring me out. Number 4 is music. I put on my headphones. I literally have like a track running in the background the whole time that uplifts me. And technique number 5 is to create something in crafting, and that's the one I use the most, and that brings me out pretty quick. If you plan to use any of these techniques or currently use these techniques, please comment below. Let me know how they work for you, or if you have any ideas or other things that you do. These are the top 5 that I use when I'm in a funk, but I do vary it up with some other stuff, but these are like my core steps. So if you do anything else to help you get out of your INFJ funk, please comment below. Let me know. I would love any new ideas to help bring me out of my funk on a quicker, easier basis. Please comment below. Let me know. I would love any feedback you can get. And if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel and click the little bell so you receive notifications every time I drop a new video. If you're interested in enrolling in my free 5-day training, How to Ignite Your Life with Intention, please click below. I'll have a link to it, and I will drop you an audio and a worksheet every day for 5 days to help you ignite your life. So until next time, I'll see you on the flip side.